Okay, so could you please introduce yourself and your organization, please?
Yeah, my name is Matej Rus. I'm a COO and co-founder of Venture Factory, which is a mission-driven organization, a not-for-profit organization that supports entrepreneurs and leaders to become more successful in building their companies.
Okay. So from your experience, what do you think about the soft skills and school education and entrepreneurship and the connection between it, maybe a message to the potential target group?
Yeah, so soft skills, when building a startup or a company, soft skills are really important. So especially soft skills that maybe we don't pay a lot of attention to, like empathy, that you are really capable of observing other people's behaviors, other people's needs, and other people's problems. Because without that, we can really find a match between their problems and your solution. And that is definitely one skill set that we need to help students or people to master when trying to build their companies.
And our main activities are organization of workshops, career counseling, and in general helping some also socially excluded people or changing careers and so on and so on. And then we've got different organizations in this Erasmus Plus project, which is called E-Steps. So soft skills for vocational school students and also educators obviously benefit from our project, and we performed because we are finishing the project in December, and it's going to be 2 years since the start. So what we did so far is an e-learning course on the e-learning platform, and also it has some workshop materials. And right now we are also working on a just like case study movie of the project as a whole, some interviews with students who participated, because we also had workshops in schools. So thank you very much for letting us record it. And in general, we are concentrating on the soft skills, which we think are often neglected, especially in like quite technical schools, or let's say this state curricula which are often in all the countries quite technical.
As for me, I'm the PR communicator here, so from my line of work, what I see that is lacking locally are spaces for young people to gather, like youth centers generally, but also spaces for evening events such as concerts and clubs and venues for coming together and networking and getting to know new people. But Željko and Doris definitely have a better view of the details, so maybe they can say a bit more.
And me and my colleague Urban, we decided to give you some information about our services that could be interesting for you. We do many different things, but so we have to choose some parts that could be interesting in my book. Supply and demand of the labor market, primary working tasks, contemporary occupations, job opportunities. All these all these general information are just for visitors of our website and also for registered users. And some who decided to come here to Career Center, they also could have some talk or some meeting with our counselors, with our colleagues outside, use our computers. get some information about tools and so on. And yeah, also we offer our users also information about labor markets in the European Union, and also have a counselor that works specifically for this field. So help you to write a CV in English or a German language, give you some information. We will talk about this a little bit later, but just to know that we don't offer just information about Slovenia, but also for the whole European Union and the Swiss Confederation. I think that the most interesting thing for you would be tools for self-directed career guidance. We use mostly e-counseling, computer program Where and How, and the web service My Choice. All these are only in Slovenian language. Unfortunately, we don't have website in English or in other languages because we use it mostly with our users. If they want specific feedback or specific information about their answers, they need to be registered in every of this program or in every of these sites. Just to take a look, for example, what does this mean? We have, this is just a print screen of our website, e-counseling, and they have different questionnaires, different examples of how to write a good CV or good motivational letter, how to find a good job, how to discover their interest. We have a questionnaire that helps them to recognize their own skills, to present those skills to employees and to present those skills in their CVs or at the job interview. So all these informations are they can use all these informations for free, but they need to be registered. So what is my personality, what are my interests, what are my competences, describe different competences on very, everything is explained in very basic form. So it's very useful and handful, and it's not easy to, you don't need some specific digital skills if you want to use those questionnaires. So this is e-counseling and the questionnaire When and Where. This one we use mostly with pupils and with students when they have to make a decision which university, which college they would like to choose, and they are not so sure about their career path. So they have opportunity to discover different work fields, different jobs, what skills are needed for some jobs, and they also get very personal feedback. All these questionnaires are also they can use these questionnaires at home or here in our places in our career center, or talk about this information with their own counselor. We also offer to the registered user two types of career counseling. One is a basic career counseling and in-depth or advanced career counseling. In basic career counseling, they get, every user, I have to tell this first, yeah, every registered user gets its own counselor, and they have a meeting every 3 to 4 months. They plan together activities and different goals that they would like to reach in these 3 months, and then they together they are taking next steps if they cannot find a job, if they need some more specific information about labor market, if they need some information about our educational training. We also offer our users informal educational and informal training here at the Career Center and with other partners in the local area. And in-depth career counseling is for those who need some who has some specific needs, has some health issues, had some social problems, or are in their path and they don't really know where to go or how to use their skills. And me and Urban are mostly working with this kind of population who needs a little bit personalized approach and some more specific information. And lifelong career guidance for pupils, secondary schools, and for university students and their parents, that they could get all the information. And Urban will tell you something more about this because he works mostly with this population. Otherwise, we also invite schools here to our center, to our career center, to present them what we do and to help those kids that are at the beginning of their career path, to show them possibility how to use their tools and how to get some information, and they can always count on us.
Well, from my perspective, I'm Urban, and I will try to be as plain as possible, to be as interesting as possible, to give you information that might be useful to you. So it's perfectly okay for me to, if you have a question, ask right away. You don't have to wait for the end of this presentation, or if you want to ask later, it's okay as well. So as Thea already mentioned, our two main types of work with unemployed could be identified as learning career guidance skills, which is mostly individual work. Like people can visit our website, our tools, and work individually on their goals, on their interests, maybe capabilities, make some research about what might interest them and what are the right field, the right occupations for them. And the second type is, of course, individual meetings with the counselors. So these are two main types. This learning career guidance skills is intended for everyone, also for those who are not registered in our service. So each person, it's free to find this on the internet. And by learning these career guidance skills, people are mostly better equipped for taking decisions about their career and, of course, job seeking. And what can people gain by learning this career guidance skills? They, of course, can identify their interests, capabilities, and maybe motivation for, I don't know, deciding to enter further education, or maybe they would rather seek employment right away. So this could be one of the main goals. Also, they can identify potential job opportunities in this area where we are now. They can take some decisions about their career and, of course, realize also their employment and career goals as well. And if we maybe move forward, like this is already written here, and these career guidance skills are very, the view on the career development is very different today than what it was 30 or 40 years ago. 40 years ago, it was completely understandable that you would finish school, find an employer and stay there for 40 years, maybe until you retire. Nowadays, the labor market and everything is very different, and we have to be more flexible. We have to continue learning, upgrading our skills, our competencies. So this is an opportunity for everyone who wish to be better and to learn throughout their lifetime. Okay, so is there a question here maybe? No. Okay, we can then move forwards and no, actually I would like to say something here as well. Yeah.
Specific daily activities in our project, and I was interested, you've mentioned a couple of different workshops or initiatives with, I assume, mainly the youth, young people. So what do you think is the most important when teaching?
So as I mentioned, I think that the method that we use, the concept of critical literacy, really offers a lot of space to research different topics and through the prism of critical literacy to address them. And it's because the main goal of critical literacy is to, as I said before, tries to open up or tries to maybe encourage the participants of the workshops or seminars to look behind the text, to go deeper and see the agendas that are there, because every text that is written or every film that is made, every video that is made with someone who has a specific social and cultural background. This is obvious. and also the other person who is watching this or reading this has specific social and cultural background, so we cannot read or write text or watch text, visual text without interpretation. And we have to be very, very well aware of that. This is what we try to do in these workshops, to make us think of all those backgrounds that are involved in understanding the world. And since the critical literacy has been developed from critical pedagogy, and the establisher of critical pedagogy was Brazilian philosopher Paulo Freire, and his very famous sentence was, reading the word is the same as reading the world. So I think this is also one of the main messages that we try to get across in these workshops. And through these workshops we address things like workers' rights, climate crisis, the reasons and the consequences of the so-called refugee crisis, women's rights and things like that. So we never just, because you mentioned career, we never just speak about like a career as something that is in the world without any other consequences. We mostly speak about so in this context we speak about as I said, workers' rights, but also the concept of work and also the concept of wages. But because we unfortunately do live in capitalism, we have to touch upon also in the context of worker rights, like these very specific things like what kind of contracts are good for you, what kind of contracts are bad for you, so that young people, when they, hopefully get a job, understand what kind of job they have. Usually it's a bad job, but still, at least they know how to fight for their rights in this sense. But we also always try to give a broader context of these ideas. Yeah. But I would really recommend like this critical literacy or critical pedagogy approach.
I will sit because I was not very in my best version today, but I will do my best to present you the organization and the activities that our organization is dealing with. My name is Mateja Karničnik. I am Head of Human Resource Development at Foundation of Improvement of Employment Possibilities, Prisma, that you are here today visiting us. Mainly I'm working in projects, so I know very well the organization and functioning and activities like filming, making videos and so on. So this is nothing new. Well, Prisma, we like to say that we are a partner in promoting skills and jobs, especially on the regional level, but local, regional, also working on a national level and of course transnational with partners in different projects.
It was easy to organize, but to sustain in longer time was difficult, especially when, of course, they haven't got something like quarrel about shares, but if there was a lot of people, someone should be the leader of this group, and the kind of manager, external manager, and what was external manager was difficulties with feeling independent. So it was, idea is perfect, but life is brutal, sorry. And sometimes, but we know a few subjects who are still exist, and for example, when we organize courses in Poland from Polish projects, we try sometimes to order catering from our familiar social subject. They are prepare only vegetarian and vegan products, so sometimes it's valuable for our participants. We like this attitude, but we know that it is sometimes, especially in Poland, we've got equality, that this kind of social economy, it is something like socialism. We know that it isn't the same, but the source could be, especially for people who have got Liberian attitude for economy, you know what I mean, it is something, but we think that it is a good idea, a good approach, but very difficult to conduct, I think. That is my opinion.
That we are spreading the awareness on, and what does it mean to work abroad? So what does it mean to work in a different environment, in a different culture, with different agreements, with different legislation, and we give such basic information. But from what's usually most successful, what young people are like most enthusiastic about, is attending our workshops. These are small workshops with 10 to maybe 15 attendees. The one that is most popular is how to make an international CV. How to make a CV in general, but especially how to make an international one. Because people struggle with writing their CV. I mean, I struggle, and I have helped people write, I don't know, the number of CVs, but actually writing a CV is not as easy as it seems. You can use the Europass format and they have it all figured out for you, but the content still has to be yours and has to make an impact. And how to do that, it's not that easy. You have to think about a lot about yourself, about what you can offer, about what you want, about what are your goals, and you have to also think about the company, what the company offers, what the company needs, and how you will bring some value to this company.
Ok, ciao Hamza.
Ciao, ciao.
Allora, all'interno di questo progetto hai avuto l'opportunità di sviluppare le tue competenze, le soft skill necessarie nel mercato del lavoro italiano e nella gestione della carriera?
Sì, in questi mesi qui, da 4 mesi in Italia e nell'azienda di Lensk Solution, ho imparato molto la comunicazione nel team, come lavorare in un team molto organizzato. Faremo ogni giorno un daily per più di comunicazione nella squadra, nel team dell'azienda. Professionalmente ho imparato tante come parlare con una persona professionalista nel mondo dell'IT o anche in un'altra team, perché io lavoro con il front-end e devo comunicare con il team del back-end, quindi ho imparato la comunicazione professionalista nel settore lavorativo italiano, e penso che le mie capacità sono imparato molto nei 4 mesi scorsi.
Grazie. E sei stato invece in grado di sviluppare le tue capacità di networking, magari costruendo delle relazioni con i tuoi colleghi tra pari?
Sì, certo, ho costruito tante relazioni con i miei colleghi, perché il team è molto simpatico, i miei colleghi abbiamo giocato insieme al calcio, abbiamo fatto yoga, siamo andati per un weekend insieme a Perugia, quindi la mia relazione con i miei colleghi ho imparato molto e ho fatto tante attività con loro. Sono molto felice di lavorare con questo team.
Ok. E come valuti il tuo apprendimento in questa esperienza? Cioè, appunto, pensi che abbia permesso il tuo self-development?
Sì, quando io comparo io 4 mesi fa e adesso, io ho visto che le mie capacità professionaliste e le soft skills hanno imparato molto, ho imparato tante nuove tecnologie nel settore IT, nel settore del sviluppo web, ho imparato tanti nei miei soft skills, la comunicazione e l'integrazione in un team specialista, quindi ho imparato molto e sono felice di questa esperienza che era benefica e molto benefica per me.
Grazie Angelo.
Udział w projekcie poszerzył moje horyzonty na temat odporności psychicznej, jak również uświadomił mi, jak ważne jest to w życiu młodego człowieka.
Wiktoria, co Twoim zdaniem jest niezbędne, aby zachowywać się jak prawdziwy zwycięzca?
Moim zdaniem panowanie nad emocjami, ponieważ w naszym życiu mamy emocje negatywne i pozytywne, które wpływają na nas.
Dzięki kursom ESTEPS rozszerzyłem swoją wiedzę na temat rynku pracy oraz zdrowia psychicznego.
Co to jest rynek pracy?
Ogólnie rzecz biorąc, rynek obejmuje procesy związane z zatrudnianiem pracowników.
Wzięcie udziału w projekcie pokazało nam, jak radzić sobie z naszymi sukcesami i porażkami, z którymi spotykamy się w życiu codziennym oraz pracy zawodowej.
Ej, Kacper, co to jest kreatywność?
Kreatywność to zdolność danej osoby do systematycznego znajdywania rozwiązań.
Dzięki, Kacper.
Projekt dał nam możliwość zdobycia wiedzy na temat polskiego rynku pracy oraz jak radzić sobie z porażkami i sukcesami. Znaleźliśmy odpowiedzi na nurtujące nas pytania i poszerzyliśmy zasób słownictwa związanego z psychologią i pracą.
Dzięki projektowi dowiedziałam się, czym jest CV list motywacyjny, wiem jak go prawidłowo napisać, żeby zwrócić na siebie uwagę pracodawcy i na moje kompetencje.
Chcemy bardzo podziękować za możliwość wzięcia udziału w projekcie ESTEPS.
Chciałybyśmy również zaprosić innych uczniów do rozwiązania quizów.
Nazywam się Agnieszka Karwowska, jestem doradcą zawodowym w Zespole Szkół nr 1 imienia bohaterów Westerplatte w Garwolinie w Polsce. Według mnie spośród modułów zaprezentowanych w projekcie ESTEPS najbardziej przydatny z punktu widzenia doradcy zawodowego jest blok zarządzania karierą. Uważam, że jest to istotny element w budowaniu świadomej ścieżki kariery, wyboru zawodów, też wyboru studiów i wyboru kompetencji cząstkowych. Uważam, że spośród umiejętności zaprezentowanych w projekcie najbardziej przydatny blok to będzie rozwój inteligencji emocjonalnej, która jest najbardziej poszukiwana na rynku pracy. I to powoduje, że uczniowie, którzy mają wysoko rozwiniętą inteligencję emocjonalną, potrafią świadomie budować właśnie ścieżkę kariery. Uważam, że platforma, która powstała w projekcie, jest bardzo przydatna, przejrzysta i materiały są przeze mnie wykorzystywane na